Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I had no idea exactly what kind of setup we were going to have today, so I will adjust my best to it. um, it is a real pleasure to get to see each of you because I know that if you commit to working with Morella and you commit in this more intimate way, you're here because you're absolutely dedicated and passionate about whatever it is in your life. And many of us see so many different circumstances in this world that are changing constantly. In fact, the hardest thing in this world, I think, is to be stationary. We really don't have a choice. The world is changing faster and faster. You see the ratio of technology is changing faster and faster. I don't remember the name of it, but I actually got to see once a measurement that was showing that the ratio at which technology and sociology are changing back in the 1800s was wider, and the closer you get to today, the shorter and shorter and shorter that span is, to where it's almost happening instantaneously in a day now. So when we're looking at all of these things, one of the questions that we have to ask ourselves is, where are we in that? Who are we in that? And especially as women who are empowered, which you are in order to be part of this more intimate group, the means that allowed you to be here, means that you are more empowered than any woman who's ever gone before you. What you have access to on your phones means you have more access to technology than kings, queens, prime ministers ever had in the past 100 years. So a lot of the things that I often emphasize to people is, what do you want to do with that? Because the choice isn't whether you're going to make an impact. You're going to make an impact by virtue of being a human being in this modern society. With globalization linking the environmental, the technological, the sociological. In fact, if we choose not to take responsibility for it, we're actually making one of the worst, most negative impacts in the world. Well, one of the things that we see today in this world is leadership. People lie to us about what leadership is. Let me say that again. People lie to us about what leadership is. And one of the things that is being made toxic is the term an alpha leader. And there is nothing wrong with leadership. To aspire to leadership, to be naturally inclined to leadership is a positive thing. But if we look out in nature, what we see among wolves and whatnot, is there any way we can turn the music down a bit? But when we look out among wolves and how does an alpha work in nature? You see snow going all the way up here. The first wolf is making a lot of work in order to move forward. It is hard work to push through snow like this. And that is the alpha doing the work, because the alpha understands that he is a servant to the whole. The weakest wolf, the oldest wolf, the lame wolf is in the back, because that means that the whole of society has moved all of that snow out to help the one that needs the most. That's a healthy society. In today's world, in this society, it would mean we'd be helping the elders, we would be helping the handicapped, we'd be helping the economically challenged, that a leader would understand, how do I open doors for that kind of person? But unfortunately, we laud the idea of an alpha, and media does, is top down. How do we make the person who's the weakest serve the strongest? And that's when we get what I call a pseudo-alpha, a false alpha. So I wanted to share with you two archetypes of what, in my opinion, a healthy alpha male is. And I wanted to mention this in front of women as well, because it's not logical that we should overturn thousands of years of saying, oh, well, male leadership is a horrible thing. No, that's actually going against the DNA. But as women, we can say we also want to be alphas, but what we can do is we can say we want to enjoy and respect and applaud and uplift those that recognize positive leadership is necessary in the world, regardless of gender. But let's take a look at how we can support the male who is trying to rise up and do it in a productive way.